Hey, guess what, y'all? Vaccine mandates are here. Maybe. Hey, y'all, yes, they're here. Now, let me explain. A couple weeks ago, we talked about a couple of companies, Tyson Foods and maybe Walmart, that were making mandatory drivers and all their other employees get the vaccine for COVID. And we talked about that, and a lot of comments on, I'm not doing that, I'll quit, whatever. And also came to some kind of consensus that nobody really thought out loud that the government would mandate vaccines. Well, I'm sure y'all have heard that Mr. Biden came out, which was going to be yesterday. You'll see this probably Monday. Today's Friday. Anyway, he came out yesterday with his new plan of attack for fighting COVID. Now, he started out with talking about masks and how good the numbers were, and it confused me because he's talking about how good the numbers were, and then he talked about how bad some other things were, which didn't quite add up to me. Now, I don't want to make this video political. I'm going to try not to, because it really shouldn't be political, right? Whether you get a vaccine or not should be up to you, between you and your doctor, and come to a decision whether you need to take it or not. There's a lot of people out there that maybe shouldn't be taking it, maybe allergic, or doesn't matter. If they've come to the conclusion after researching it and they don't want to take it, they don't need to take it. If you want to take it, that's fine with me too. Anyway, he started out with the federal government employees and anyone contracted to the federal government need to be vaccinated, mandatory vaccinations. Now, you thinking, well, I don't work for the government. I don't work for anybody contracted to the government. I don't think anybody in my family works for the government. Well, are you sure? If your wife or your daughter or your son or somebody you know works in a hospital or a doctor's office and they treat Medicare and Medicaid patients, they are contracted to the government. So that counts. So they'll be under that too. And he didn't leave any exceptions. He said they all must be vaccinated or risk being fired. Now, moving on to how it's going to affect truck drivers. Now, if you are an independent owner-operator on your own authority, it won't affect you. If you work for a small company with under 100 employees, it won't affect you. But he said, if you work any company that has more than 100 employees, will be vaccinated, mandatory vaccinations. The only exception he gave was if you don't take the vaccination, you have to have a negative test every week. Now, that's enough. I mean, I don't like that. And I guess if it came down to it, I would probably do that over getting the vaccination. But I don't really think they should be telling me I got to do that either. So, but anyway, that's where it comes down to. Companies, more than 100 employees, must be vaccinated. Now, the reason I say maybe in the intro there is because to me and to a lot of other people, it doesn't sound to be constitutional that they can do that. The way he's kind of working around it is he did not say he's making an executive order to make it mandatory. He's saying he is having the Department of Labor and OSHA come up with an emergency rule to mandate that these people all get vaccinated. So he's putting it on the Department of Labor, and someone else in the government even said it's a workaround. And you know, all the talking heads are talking about how it's not constitutional, it'll never fly. And so, you know, that's my hope. Now, even if it takes effect, it would take a while because the Department of Labor, OSHA, has to come up with the rule, which you know how government works, real slow. So the rule will have to be made. It could take weeks, maybe months, before they actually come out with the rule. And of course, all the mostly Republican governors that I know of that will sue when this rule comes out, they have to wait until the rule is actually out before they can file their lawsuits. And then probably my guess would be some judge will put an injunction on it and have to stop it until it goes through the court. And hopefully that's what happens. It'll nip that in the bud, and then we'll wait for it to go through the court. Probably pretty fast, because they'll say it's an emergency situation and they'll bump it up, all the way to the Supreme Court. And hopefully, if it makes sense to me, that they will not make this mandatory by the government. Now, private companies, I guess they can do whatever they want. They're not held to the standard of they can't make anything mandatory, because especially in right to work states, you have a condition of employment, and it may be one of them. It's like, it's always been that way with my wife at the hospital. Condition of employment, you work in a hospital, you have to take the flu vaccine or wear a mask. You have to put in for your exemption, and part of that exemption is you have to wear a mask. Now, part of the exemption for this mandate that he wants to put out now is you got to be tested every week. And for me, there's some question on that too, because the chemicals that are in that swab, from what I understand, are known carcinogens. So if I'm doing that every week, I'm putting myself still in a little bit of danger, right? Anyway, that's the new thing on mandatory vaccines. I can't wait for the comments on this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Go down in the description, check out all my links. Email me, all that kind of good stuff. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Hit the alarm notification bell for all. Like this video, and we'll see you later.